All right, let's talk about something that can make even the most confident person just freeze: reflective writing. Whether it's for a class or a performance review, that prompt to reflect on your experience can feel totally impossible. But what if I told you it wasn't about some flash of genius? What if it's more like building with Legos, piece by piece? Today, we're going to look at the simple architecture that makes a reflection truly powerful.
Oh, you know this feeling. We've all been there. You've done the project, you've lived the experience, and now you have to write about it. And you just sit there staring at that blinking cursor on a blank white page. The pressure's on.
Yep, the classic blank page problem. It feels like you're supposed to just pull some deep, life-changing lesson out of thin air. But here's the thing, you're not stuck because you have nothing to say. You're stuck because nobody ever showed you the right way to build your thoughts. And that, right there, is the secret. A really great reflection isn't something you find, it's something you build. It has a plan, it has a solid foundation, and it has a structure that guides your reader right to your big idea. And today, we're handing you the blueprint.
And here it is, 4 simple pillars to totally transform your writing. We've got the destination, that's knowing where you're going from the very start. Then, the blueprint, to map it all out. We'll ground it all with the foundation, and then, the most important part, we'll connect everything with the bridge. Ready? Let's start building.
First up, Pillar 1, the destination. Now, this might sound backwards, but it's probably the most important step of all. Before you write a single word about what happened, you need to know the one key lesson you want your reader to walk away with. You have to start at the end.
And the key words here are clear and specific. That's why I focus on just 1 or 2 points. You gotta resist that urge to list every single little thing you learned. When it comes to reflection, focus is absolutely everything.
And just look at the difference this makes. Saying I learned about teamwork is, well, it's foggy, it's vague. But the one on the right, I learned that assigning clear roles is critical. Now that is a destination. It's a sharp, specific point that the rest of your writing can now be built to prove.
So, you've got your destination locked in. Great! Now for Pillar 2, the blueprint. You need a map that gets your reader from point A to point B without them getting lost along the way. And that map is your structure. You know, good structure is really an act of kindness to your reader. You're making their job easy. You can do this with really simple tools, things like clear headings and making sure each paragraph has one and only one main idea. I mean, the impact is just so obvious, right? On the left, you've got that dreaded wall of text. It's scary, it's confusing. But on the right, you have something that's organized and inviting. It's the same information, but the blueprint makes one a total chore to read and the other a pleasure. Okay, moving on to Pillar 3, the foundation. A great lesson is useless if it's just kind of floating up in the clouds. You have to build it on something solid. You have to ground it in a real, concrete experience.
Basically, your reflection needs proof, and that proof is a story. Your main point has to be clearly and specifically supported by an experience. This is where you stop telling the reader what you learned, and you start showing them how you learned it.
Think about it this way. Communication is important. Yeah, okay, duh. It's an abstract idea that isn't anchored to anything, but describing how a single missed email pushed a launch back by 2 days, that's a foundation. It's a specific moment that becomes powerful evidence for your bigger lesson.
And this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? This is where a lot of people get stuck. You've got your story, the foundation, and you've got your big lesson, the destination. How in the world do you actually link them together so the reader gets it?
Well, that brings us to our final and honestly our most important pillar, the bridge. This is where you, the builder, have to physically construct the connection. You can't just hope the reader will make the jump themselves. You have to build them a bridge to walk across.
The connection has to be clearly and directly connected. This isn't the time for being subtle. You have to be the tour guide and literally point to the connection and say, see, this happened, and because of that, I learned this.
So what does this bridge actually look like? Well, it has 2 anchor points. The first one is the experience. This is your story, the what happened. For example, the email was missed, which delayed our launch.
The second anchor point on the other side of the gap is the lesson. This is your destination, the what I learned. For example, assigning clear roles is the most critical factor for success.
And here it is, the bridge itself. It's just a simple, powerful little phrase that connects the two. Things like, this experience demonstrates that, or this moment taught me that, or because that email was missed, I finally realized that.
You are literally building the connection with your words. It's that final, crucial piece.
So there you have it. You see? Reflective writing isn't some mysterious art form. It's not about waiting for inspiration to strike. It's an act of construction. It's engineering. Let's do a super quick recap of the plan.
All you have to do is remember the 4 pillars. 1. Start with the destination, your clear, specific lesson. 2. Use the blueprint to organize everything for your reader. 3. Build it all on the foundation of a real story. And 4. Construct the bridge to explicitly connect that story to your lesson.
So, with this blueprint in your back pocket, that blank page doesn't look so scary anymore, does it? You're not just a writer staring into the void. You're an architect ready to build something meaningful. So the only question left is, what's the next experience you're going to build an insight from?